"I'm telling you, Louise," my best friend Janet said. "He's a typical man. He'll hear your proposal and think about what he's going to get." "I don't like the idea of him being with others," I replied. "Janet, I didn't say he would sleep with anyone." "Louise, he's 40 and past his prime. Do you really think he'll be entertaining 20-year-olds every weekend? He'll stay home with the kids and you can live your best life." "Do you think that won't backfire?" I asked, looking at my friends and coworkers. "Louise, James is desperate to get you into bed," Annie replied. "By asking for it. You'll just have fun with him without feeling guilty," Marie added. "Your husband will be busy with work and kids. Just keep him entertained occasionally and he won't suspect a thing." The more we talked, the better it sounded. I'd been happily married to Mark for 18 years, with 2 kids, a house, and annual vacations. We worked hard and were generally happy. But as I approached 40, I felt something was missing. I wanted a thrill. My husband still loved me and was a romantic, but I felt bored. That's when Janet suggested new possibilities. My friends at work also talked about modern relationships. I wasn't sure if my husband would agree, but my friends kept convincing me. That night I decided to talk to him. "I'll talk to him tomorrow night after dinner," I told them. "It'll be fine," Janet assured me. "He'll be grateful, and if you need help, one of us can keep him entertained." I didn't like the idea of my friends with my husband, but if it meant I could have my own lovers, I'd accept it. The idea of boyfriends sounded appealing. I'd only had 3 boyfriends before Mark, and none lasted long. I never had a one-night stand. But young men at work reminded me I was still desirable. This boosted my confidence. Coming home, my husband suspected nothing. When he hugged me, he had no idea what was coming. I worried about the outcome and shed a few nervous tears. The next day was Sunday, and we always did something fun as a family. However, our teenagers preferred their friends' company. Dinner was disappointing as the kids were on their phones. "Don't worry, honey, the only thing distracting me is you," my husband said. I felt guilty, knowing what I was going to ask him later. Dinner went as usual. Mark enforced a no-phones rule, which the kids eventually appreciated. After dinner, I told the kids, "I need to talk to your father, it's not for little ears." "Are you having another child?" our daughter asked excitedly. "No, nothing like that," I said, seeing curiosity on my husband's face. "It's important." He didn't know what to expect, but poured us both a glass of wine and sat across from me, silent but attentive. Though usually an extrovert, he could be quiet and thoughtful, living by the motto, "Be silent and be thought a fool, speak and remove all doubt." I gathered my thoughts. "Are you happy?" I asked. "With what?" he replied. "With everything. Our life. I have a loving wife, 2 great kids, a nice home. We live comfortably and have good careers and friends. We're doing well." "I'm glad you think so, but I'm bored." Mark was silent for a minute, then said, "You're bored?" "Yes, I love you, but I need more excitement." "Am I not enough?" "It's not about you, Mark. It's about my needs." I tensed, sipping my wine. "I've been talking to friends and researching. Traditional relationships are evolving." "Don't give me that newfangled nonsense," Mark said. "Just tell me what you want." "I want an open marriage, Mark. I want us to date other people." His face changed, anger flashing in his eyes. He gripped his wine glass tightly. "Can you repeat that?" "I want an open marriage so we can date other people. Think about it. You could be with younger women." He was silent, clearly upset. "No way," he growled. "We made vows to renounce all others. I take that seriously. Have you?" "Mark, I still take our vows seriously, but things can change. We can still love and honor each other, but I need this." Those words hurt him. His jaw clenched, rage in his eyes, but he held back. He stood up and walked to the back door. "Where are you going?" I asked. "To think," he replied. "My wife just told me she wants to be with other people. I don't want to be around her right now." His voice broke as he left, calling me a strumpet. I didn't see him for the rest of the night. The next morning, his side of the bed was untouched. I showered and went to work, finding our kids at breakfast, but no sign of Mark. "Where's your dad?" I asked. "He left early for work," our daughter replied. "Said he might be back late," our son added. For the first time in our marriage, He left without kissing me goodbye. It felt unpleasant. At work, I texted him that I loved him, avoiding mentioning last night's discussion. I tried calling him at lunch, but it went to voicemail, so I left a sweet message about loving him and growing old together. That evening, his car wasn't home when I arrived. I feared he might be at a bar drowning his sorrows, but he came home a bit later. No kiss, just a brief greeting before disappearing outside. Our kids didn't seem to notice. At dinner, he chatted with them as usual but barely spoke to me. After dinner, he asked the kids to go to their rooms, saying he needed to talk to me. This time, there was no wine. He sat across from me, clearly upset. "I know you won't let this go, Louise," he said. "Your friends are filling your head with nonsense. I researched open relationships today. I know if I say no, you'll end up cheating on me. Either way, I'll lose." He raised his hands in surrender. "Okay, you win. But we need rules. No men in our house." "I wouldn't do that," I assured him. "Our bed stays sacred. Lovers should use protection until tested for STDs. I don't want to date or see your lovers. If you've been with someone, we'll have less fun together. From now on, I'm not responsible for your romantic, emotional, or physical needs. Do you understand?" Distracted by thoughts of potential lovers, I didn't fully grasp what he meant. I figured I'd date for a year or two, then return to our normal life. He stood up, his anger gone but replaced with contempt. I saw pain in his eyes, and I knew it was my fault. But I remembered my friend's advice to be selfish for once. He would eventually get over it. He didn't come to bed that night. Alone, I downloaded dating apps, created a profile, and waited for messages. Then I called Janet. "So, how did it go?" she asked excitedly. "He agreed, but he's not happy. His ego is wounded, but he'll deal with it. Young men today are great. Or maybe I'm just lucky. I know James at work is eager to be with me." For the rest of the week, things were cold at home. The kids likely noticed my husband barely speaking to me, but they didn't mention it. He returned to our bed, but showed no affection, only saying goodnight without hugging or kissing me. Friday morning, I told him I was going out with the girls that night. He hummed faintly, gave me a look I was starting to recognize, then picked up his bag and left without another word. I had packed a bag in case of a major fight. I kissed the kids goodbye and told them I might be home late. At work, my coworkers were thrilled about my plans. I showed them my change of clothes, and the excitement increased. I sent a picture to Janet, who assured me something would happen that night. I spent the afternoon telling 3 young men that I now had permission to play away from home. "Are you serious?" James asked when I invited him for drinks. "Did your husband agree?" "Don't mention him. Just know that I'll be at the nearest bar with my girlfriends. If you show up, you might need to keep me company." "What bar?" he asked confidently. I told him, and he smiled, saying he would meet me there. After lunch, a coworker whispered, "Are you really going to entertain James so soon?" "Why not? My husband agreed, so I'm not wasting time." "You're on Tinder." I laughed. I've had so much interest in a day. Young men love older women. My husband can't compete with that. "And how does he deal with it?" "We don't talk about it. He stays home with the kids." "Does that seem fair?" She smiled. "Who says it's fair? They agreed to it. If they can't find other women, that's their problem." I wasn't sure my husband would even look for another woman. He was monogamous, so his agreement was odd. I tried to focus on work but kept texting Janet. At 5 p.m., I changed, applied more makeup, and met Janet and the girls. We were soon surrounded by young men, and James appeared, excited to see me. We found a booth and talked. When I suggested we go to my booked hotel room, he practically dragged me out to cheers from my friends. We pounced on each other in the hotel room. Later, I showered, dressed, and checked out, ignoring the receptionist's judgmental look. At home, I found the bedroom empty and Mark in the study. Shaking him gently, he woke and met my gaze with cold, emotionless eyes. "Go back to sleep, Louise," he said, rolling over and ignoring me. "Are you coming to bed?" "I'm in bed. I told you the rules, Louise. You think I'm going to share a bed with you after tonight? Fine then," he scoffed. Back in the bedroom, I changed and got into bed, missing his presence beside me. If he wanted to sulk and sleep alone, that was his problem. If this continued, I wouldn't come home. For the first couple of months, I limited my date nights to Fridays and Saturdays, trying to maintain our relationship. But he rarely shared a bed with me now, and the kids were noticing. When I asked Mark about it, he gave me a scathing look and offered to explain to them what I had asked him to do. "You agreed to it," I objected. "Under duress," he growled. "You were going to have fun either way, but I wasn't giving you a divorce. You weren't taking the kids away." "I would never have taken them. Louise, your behavior is injuring them. They know what's happening. I wouldn't touch you now. I don't know what STDs you're carrying." His words took my breath away. I knew he was upset, but his anger and hatred were intense. I considered slapping him, but knew he'd punch back harder. Things grew colder between us. We were a marriage in name only. We hadn't had lovemaking since I asked for an open marriage. Did I miss him? Yes, I missed being in love with my husband and the way he held me. But I wasn't ready to give up my new lifestyle. Almost every weekend, I had a new date from Tinder. Janet and the girls suggested meeting regularly after work, so my outings increased to weeknights and weekends. Sometimes I didn't make it home, staying at Janet's or a friend's house when too drunk to return safely. I started storing clothes at work or Janet's to save time. After 6 months, there were weeks I barely went home. I was living my best life, but didn't realize the damage I was doing to my marriage and family.
I'll be honest from the start. The night my wife asked for an open marriage, my love for her died. Some may wonder how I could fall out of love after 20 years, but betrayal and disrespect can do that. With a few words, she trampled our vows. It felt like an excuse to cheat guilt-free. As I cooled off outside, I knew I had to handle this calmly. It was clear her friends had coached her. I needed to talk to someone. I called Emily. "Hi, Mark." "Hi, Emily." "Okay, what's wrong? We've been friends for 35 years. You can't fool me." Everything came out, all anger and hatred. I hated my wife because she ripped my heart out. I don't remember my exact words, but it wasn't pleasant. "Are you sitting down, Mark?" "No." "Sit down, I'll tell you what to do. This won't be like my situation with Adam. You have to play it differently. Rely on me." "What should I do?" "Part of me wants to walk away, but I can't leave the kids. And custody battles rarely favor men. I'm not going to be a part-time dad. Stay married out of convenience. Turn off your emotions. Don't be her shoulder to cry on. The thought of making love to her after she's been with someone else is sickening." "Exactly. Cut yourself off from her emotionally, but keep the house and kids. Focus on yourself and them. Go to the gym. Find hobbies. Reconnect with friends. Most importantly, be there for the kids. They'll understand what's happening. She'll focus on her own needs and may eventually leave." "What if she falls in love with someone else?" "Then she'll have to choose. Stay with the family in name only, or leave." "Part of me wants to leave now, but I want to stay with the kids." "Use the gray rock method. Show complete disinterest in her. Make interactions with you unrewarding. Hide your emotions and keep conversations short and direct." "Will it work?" "Probably. Her request shows disinterest in you and the family. Focus on the kids. If you divorce, wait until the youngest is 18. Live as neighbors if necessary." "Thanks, Emily." "Always here for you, Mark. Focus on your kids and yourself. Will you forgive her?" "No, we'll divorce eventually. For now, we'll just be roommates." "That's a good mindset. Don't do anything stupid." "I won't. I'll protect myself." "Where will you sleep tonight?" "Not in the marital bed." "I'll visit you soon. You'll need friends for what's ahead." "Thanks, Emily." "One more thing, Mark. I know it's tough, but you need to take advantage of this. Women will love you. You're successful, trim, and handsome. You're a great father. Go on dates." "I'm not sure. Just think about it. You deserve happiness too." Going gray rock was hard, and I'd snapped at Louise more than once. Each time I berated myself. But she got what she wanted, so what did she care? The first night she stayed over with someone else nearly liquidated me. She even had the nerve to ask me to join her in bed. I barely restrained myself from spewing my thoughts. Any residual love for her died that night. I'll always care for her as the mother of our children. But the passion was gone. I hardened my heart, preparing for the inevitable. Following Emily's advice, I focused on myself and the kids. I resumed going to the gym, hired a personal trainer, and took up cooking for the kids, bonding with my daughter. When Louise started disappearing on weekends, I sought help from my younger sister. She ragged on me for putting up with it, but understood when I explained it was for the kids. "You should just leave with Emily," she said. "She's the one you should have married." I muttered, "Best not to know," when she asked about Louise's whereabouts. "When was the last time you did this?" she asked. "I'm not in the mood to talk about it. Emily suggested finding a pretty girl for one night." My sister laughed. "At least 3 of my friends still hold a candle for you. The gym sessions are paying off, right?" I feel more fit than I have in a while. When I work the bag, I imagine her or her boyfriends. As long as you don't slap her. "When was the last time you two talked?" "Last week at dinner. We only discussed the kids. She spends all her time on her phone. I saw 3 dating apps with dozens of messages. I don't care anymore. She's my wife in name only." "An absolute strumpet," my sister muttered. I agreed, but didn't say it out loud. Emily was the one person I relied on most. The kids adored Aunt Emily. As their mother faded from their lives, they appreciated Emily's presence, especially my daughter. Emily and I spent many evenings together, sometimes cuddling, but not more. "Daddy, why do you put up with this?" my daughter asked one night at dinner. Louise still came home occasionally for dinner, but didn't notice I'd moved most of my stuff out of the marital bed. "Yeah, kids at school teased us, but we went along with what they called Mom," my son added. "We're not the only kids with divorced or weirdly married parents." I sighed, glancing at Emily, who gave me a reproachful look. "Did your mom ever explain what's going on?" I asked. "Not really. She just said things might change in the future," my daughter replied. "Dad, we're not little kids. We know everything from the internet. Just tell us," my son said. "We won't judge you. At least you're here." I can't remember the last time Mom said 3 words to me. My daughter wiped her cheeks and Emily hugged her immediately. "I won't go into details, kids. Your mom changed our relationship, and I agreed because otherwise we would have lost the house." "And you? Do you still love her?" my daughter asked. "No," I answered bluntly. "My love for her died when she made the request and completely when she came home late after her first date." "Does she even love us anymore?" my daughter asked, holding back tears. Emily hugged her tighter and looked at me. "Of course she loves you," I replied, but I felt like I was lying. "Funny way to show it, Dad," my son remarked. "I realize it's partly my fault. Look, kids, all I can do is continue to be the father I've always been. I'll always be there for you. You can count on me." "My sister is helping too," Emily added. "I'm here for you as well." My daughter hugged her tightly. Emily's eyes sparkled. She had wanted children but never had any. "We like you, Emily," my son said with a smirk. "You make Dad happy. He's smiling again." My son made me blush. Emily smiled at me, a knowing smile. A few months passed quickly and our lives changed. I built an addition to the house as my private space, a bedroom, office, and living area. The kids loved it and we could all play together. When I worked from home, they kept me company. When Emily visited, we had our own space. I avoided my wife when she was home and we only communicated through texts. I didn't care what she did for a living. Her paycheck still went into a joint account, so bills were covered. I slowly removed her from my life, including as a beneficiary on life insurance. This was for my children's benefit. Emily stayed over often, but we weren't carnal. We slept in the same bed, but she understood I wasn't ready. I still wore my ring, feeling like I was still a husband. Emily didn't pressure me. She just held me and whispered that she loved me and would wait as long as I needed. "She's a fool," Emily whispered one night. "She has no idea what she's thrown away, and you still have to go on dates." "I'm a patient woman, Mark," she added, smiling.
I confess, once given the freedom, I went a little wild. I had always been a faithful wife and mother, dedicating nearly 20 years to my family. It was time to live a bit for myself. Yes, my husband did the same, and he could take advantage of our open relationship too. He agreed to it. He could have said no, and while we might have argued, I would have understood. Deep down, I know I would never have cheated on him, but I did go a little crazy with Tinder dates. Not all were successful, but many young men were eager to take me to a hotel. Time flew as I lived life to the fullest, while still keeping up with bills and staying in touch with the kids. My husband avoided me at home, and we barely spoke. Realizing how much I missed out on my family hit me when I tried to spend a weekend at home. Conversations with my husband were like talking to a brick wall, only discussing the kids. I missed him and the kids, but was also having too much fun to stop. "Hi," I exclaimed as I walked through the front door. "I'm home." The lights were on, but no one responded. In the kitchen, my husband and 2 kids were having dinner, with Emily there too. I knew she had been friends with my husband since childhood. Approaching them, I stopped meeting my husband's gaze, realizing he still looked at me with disdain. "What are you doing here?" our daughter asked, her tone harsh. "I'm here to spend time with my family." She scoffed, meeting my eyes and smirking. Our son grinned and turned to Emily. "Is there room for me?" I asked my husband. "No," he replied, emotionless. I noticed changes in the house. The living room looked like a museum, the kitchen was painted, and photos of us were missing. In the bedroom, it was clear my husband hadn't used it in a while. Opening double doors, I saw a large living space with a sleeping area and entertainment center. "What is this?" I asked. "My part of the house," Mark replied flatly. "And why did you build it? Why didn't you tell me?" He remained silent, but his eyes said it all. My kids smirked, and Emily held his hand under the table. "Why are you here, Mom?" our daughter asked. "Aren't you supposed to be on a date with one of your boyfriends?" I turned to my husband. "Do they know? Did you tell the kids about our arrangement?" "They've been asking where you've been. I told them." "I won't lie to our kids for you. It was your decision." "You've hardly been home for months," our son added. "I'm surprised you're even here." "Why are you here?" our daughter repeated. "We were having a nice dinner until you made it awkward." I looked at my husband. "Are you going to fix our kids' attitudes, Mark?" "No," he said, not looking at me but at Emily. "Our kids are teenagers and entitled to their opinions. Do you even know how old they are? You missed my birthday," our daughter declared. "And you missed my team winning the grand final," our son added. They finished eating, and Emily, without a word, motioned for them to go to the other room so I could talk to my husband. I'm pretty sure I stood there, opening and closing my mouth as Mark got up, pulled a beer from the fridge, and leaned against the counter, sipping for a minute or two before asking, "Why are you here, Louise?" "I wanted to spend time with my family this weekend." He looked away, then nodded. "Good luck with that. I'm busy tonight and this weekend. As for the kids, you can always ask them." He turned to face me. "Remember the agreements, Louise? I don't care what you're doing now, but you can try to talk to the kids if you want. Just don't hold your breath." After 5 minutes of talking to them, I realized neither wanted anything to do with me. Sighing, I went back to the bedroom, feeling alone in my own house. "Okay," I muttered. "If that's the way it is, I'll just leave. See you later." "Probably not," our daughter replied sarcastically. I grabbed my bag, hurried out, and slammed the car door, hitting the steering wheel in frustration. Tears flowed as I blamed everything on my husband, until I remembered his look when I first made the request and the night I came back from my first date. That look of indifference chilled me. I wondered if I had ruined everything that mattered. Had he been right? Had my friends led me astray? Maybe their husbands would have tolerated it, but Mark was always proud. Realizing the truth of our agreement, I cried harder. He had completely disconnected from me. We were married only out of convenience, and I doubted we'd ever go back to the way things were. I couldn't turn to my friends. They'd be to blame for my marriage's collapse. Driving aimlessly, I eventually parked at a bar. Inside, I ordered a drink, which soon became 2 and 3. "Is this seat taken?" a kind voice asked. A man looked at me. "No, it's not taken," I replied, sniffling, "but I'm not sure I'd be good company." "Maybe you need some company. It's not nice to see a woman sitting alone looking lonely and frustrated." He sat down, bought himself a drink, and offered to buy me one. "Need someone to talk to?" "I'm not sure you'd want to hear my story." "Is it that bad?" "The more I think about it, the more I wonder if I've ruined everything." He held out his hand. "I'm Tom, and you are?" I took his hand. "I'm Louise. Now we're no longer strangers. Someone or something has broken your heart." "Are you sure you want to hear about this?" "I'm in no hurry." I told him the general story, and he listened, nodding in understanding. When I finished, he ordered another drink for us. "Do you want to maintain your relationship, Louise?" "Honestly, I don't know if my husband will ever get our relationship back on track. He's just angry with me. How can you fix anything if he won't talk to you? I just want my husband to love me again, I whispered. These other men don't love me. It's just a distraction. After more drinks, I couldn't drive. Tom suggested I get a hotel or I could go home with him. I live alone and have spare bedrooms, he said. I don't expect anything, Louise. I agreed. Tom called a cab and I grabbed my overnight bag from the car. He lived on the other side of town. Once inside, he showed me the house, including the bedroom I would use. We had a nightcap on the couch, sitting next to each other. You're a beautiful woman, Louise, he said softly, putting his hand on my thigh. Ever think about finding one or two lovers who make you feel special? I don't want to fall in love with someone else, I replied. You can love more than one person, he said. I smiled, finding him very handsome and different from my husband. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life, Louise. You know almost nothing about me. The next morning, I put on spare clothes and met him in the kitchen. After greeting me with a kiss on the cheek, we ate breakfast and got to know each other. Surprisingly, he was in an open relationship too. I'm always honest with any woman I meet. I don't wear my wedding ring when my wife isn't around because it's annoying, but I always tell the truth before we sleep together. My wife and I only see each other once a month. Do you have children? They're grown and live with my wife most of the time. Do you have many mistresses? In the early days, I slept with any woman interested. Now I prefer real relationships. Sipping his coffee, he asked, What are your plans for the weekend, Louise? I don't have any. Would you like to spend it with me? He took my hand. I saw a beautiful, upset woman last night and wanted to comfort her. I also hoped she'd take an interest in me. I smiled. I'd love to spend the weekend with you, Tom. Tom was well off. His house was luxurious, his car something my husband and I could never afford. After a day together, he took me to a top restaurant. We danced until late, and I kissed him first, making him smile. In the back of the cab, I snuggled against him. At home after midnight, we sipped drinks and talked quietly before ending up in his bedroom. Sunday at breakfast, Tom gave me advice. He explained that his open marriage worked because he and his wife lived apart and agreed on it. I had surprised my husband and forced him to agree. Tom insisted I repair my relationship with my children. He advised me to figure out how to make it work. He also suggested mending things with Mark, who seemed like a good man. He's a wonderful man, almost as wonderful as your wife. I love my wife and plan to retire with her soon. When I'm home, this all ends. What does she think? She misses me but has two lovers when I'm away. When I'm home, all her attention is on me. Things seem to be working out for you two. Not without problems, but we avoid jealousy and resentment. After spending the afternoon together, he drove me back to the bar where my car was parked. With his arm around me, I realized I might have been approaching things wrong. One-night stands were fun, but left an emotional void. Tom, a decent man, gave me solid advice on how to make things work in my own marriage. Keep in touch with your husband. The most important thing is your children. Rebuild that relationship. I'll do my best. When can we see each other again? As soon as you want. I'm not seeing anyone else, but promise you won't be jealous if I meet someone else. I might get another semi-permanent boyfriend. He laughed, and I realized how much I liked the sound. Now you're thinking right, Louise. You've had your fun, and that's fine. But now you realize you need something more serious and lasting. Maybe lovers who truly care about you. I hugged him tightly. I'll call you soon, I said. I'm looking forward to it, Louise. I watched him drive away, then got into my car. Taking a deep breath, I drove home, thinking about what to say to my family. I stopped by my friend's place to pick up my things. Janet seemed ready to argue, but I told her I was done with meaningless fun and needed a real relationship. She wished me luck as I left. When I got home, it was late. I gathered my clothes and headed to the kitchen. I heard noise from my husband's room. I had to hold back sobs, realizing he had separated our lives without finalizing the divorce. Our son Matthew was playing a video game on a new TV, and our daughter Zara was studying nearby. Outside, I saw my husband on the new terrace, hugging a woman who wasn't Emily. Matthew noticed me and gestured to Zara, who pulled out her headphones. I knelt between them, taking their hands, and tears rolled down my cheeks. "Please don't doubt that I love you," I said. "I'm sorry I miss things. I promise to be better." Matthew's lip quivered, and I hugged him tightly. "Why are you gone all the time, Mom?" he asked, breaking my heart. "I'm sorry, baby. I miss you. I'll try to be better." "Are you really with other men?" "Let's not talk about that, Matthew. That's for your father and me to deal with." I kissed his cheeks and ruffled his hair. "I'll try to attend all your games next season." Turning to Zara, I saw she was unconvinced. "You broke Daddy's heart, Mom," she declared. "What a wife." "You're too young to understand." "I'm not too young," she shouted. "I'm 16, almost 17. I know what's going on. What happens in my marriage stays between your father and me, but your behavior affects us." She burst into tears and ran away. I didn't hear Mark until I felt his presence. "Are you staying for dinner, Louise?" he asked coldly. "I'll try to be here more often." "Mark, is this your wife?" a young woman asked. She was stunning and no older than 25. "I'm Cindy." "What about no visitors, Mark?" I asked. "She's here to keep me company. Not that you have the right to tell me what to do. We have a free relationship, remember? I'm just exercising my rights." I felt annoyed and jealous watching Mark and Zara prepare dinner. Cindy sipped wine, smiling at Mark. My daughter had always been close to her father, but they seemed even closer now. Mark graciously seated me at the table, but I was ignored. He continued his conversation with Cindy and Zara. After dinner, Mark walked Cindy to her car. He waved as she drove away and then walked back into the house. "Mark," I said quietly. He stopped and looked at me, without anger or coldness. He wasn't smiling, but he seemed happy. "Can we talk, Mark?" He sighed, looking tired. "About what, Louise?" "About us. I'm still your wife. You're still my husband. I still love you. I never wanted this to happen." I thought he might explode with rage, but he clenched his fists and sat down. "You wanted an open relationship, Louise. I accepted. When was the last time we slept in the same bed? I won't share a bed with my wife after she's dated other men. Remember what I said? No emotional support, no physical support. If you want love and affection, find someone else. This is what you wanted. I was happily married. Now I'm married in name only." "Who is she?" I asked. "You brought another woman into our home?" "We never did anything here," he said bluntly. "And who she is none of your business. I don't care who you're with, and who I'm with is none of your business." He stood and looked at me with pity. "Everything that happened is a consequence of your decisions, Louise. I warned you. Be careful what you wish for. You got what you wanted but didn't care about the impact on our family." Later, I was watching TV in the living room when my son appeared. I patted the seat next to me and he sat down. "Do you miss your mom?" I asked. "Yeah," he said. Knowing I wouldn't sleep with my husband that night, I turned off the lights and went to Mark's part of the house. One door was closed, the other ajar. He was on the couch with our daughter, who was trembling and crying. I knew I was the cause. If I walked in, things would get ugly. Sighing, I quietly closed the door and headed to my bedroom. It was no longer our bedroom, and I wasn't sure my husband would ever return to it.
I took Emily's advice and decided if my wife could have fun, so could I. I quickly found many young women interested in a successful 40-year-old man. Friends and coworkers set me up with women they knew. I didn't want to date anyone too young, but Cindy, 25, was too cute to resist. Charlotte, 28, was a career woman seeking love on her own terms. Melissa, in her early 30s, was a lawyer and an amazing lover. And then there was Jessica, 21, the daughter of a coworker who was very honest about her interest in me. "I'm partial to handsome older men," she said on our first date. "Mark, can I be honest?" "Sure." "Your wife is an idiot. The only surprise is that this arrangement works. I'm jealous sometimes, but I knew it wasn't forever. I wanted someone to make me feel special, and we all know about Emily. I heard she extended her deadline. Yes, I now have a year to have fun. Do you think she's afraid to commit to you?" "Maybe. We've always been in love, but it's been platonic." Then you need to show her how you feel. How can you be so young and wise? All your girlfriends think it's a good idea. We all love Emily and agree you two are perfect for each other. Jessica clung to me. Don't feel guilty. Sometimes a woman needs to show she wants you. The next morning, we had breakfast together. Then I drove her home. After a long kiss, she went inside with a dreamy smile. I knew I'd hear about it at work. Back home, Matthew was yelling into his gaming headset. Zara was at the table, busy with her own things. I kissed her head and cheek. Have you two been okay the last 2 nights? I'm 16, Daddy. I can take care of myself. And your brother? He hasn't been too intrusive. Any sign of your mother? Not since Wednesday. Fair enough. What do you want for dinner? We had dinner together. Matthew ate quickly and returned to his game. Zara grinned at me as we cleaned up. I grabbed a beer and went to the deck. Zara joined me, settling on my lap. Daddy, are you happy? Depends. Am I happy with you? Yes, I love my children. Am I happy with my current situation? No. Am I happy with my personal life besides your mother? Yes, quite content. I think Mom has a boyfriend now. Good for her. You really don't care, do you? No, honey. We live separate lives. The only things we share are you two, some finances, this house, and a piece of paper. You two were never meant to be involved. I assumed your mom's disappearances would be noticed, but I wouldn't lie for her. I tried not to do the same, but she flaunted it almost like I couldn't do the same. You've met some beautiful women, Dad. Yes, I have 4 beautiful women who know I'm married. They know it's not forever. They know I'm not leaving my marriage because of Emily. Daddy, are you in love with her? Zara whispered. She rarely called me Daddy now, only when she wanted to say something important. I pulled her closer, pondering her question. Emily is my best friend, Zara. She's been by my side longer than anyone. I've helped her through breakups and even fought guys who mistreated her. Sounds like love, Daddy. Your mother took my love for granted. Emily never did that. We've never been in a relationship, but I can rely on her more than anyone. Your mother knew that. Emily warned her that if she broke my heart, she might end up wanting to be with me. But are you having fun in the meantime? Emily knows everything I do and even encourages me. That's what friends are for, Dad. But I'll be thrilled when you marry her. Wait, what? Did she say something? No, but you deserve to be happy, and Mom hasn't made you happy since she made that request. Are you going to divorce her soon? No. She lives her life and I live mine. When you and your brother leave home, we'll divorce. Emily arrived Tuesday night, and my daughter seemed to play matchmaker the whole time. My son was oblivious, but I cast reproachful glances at my daughter. After they went to bed, Emily snuggled up to me, wrapping her arm around my waist. She started giggling. Your daughter wasn't subtle today, Mark, she whispered. No, she's been talking about us getting married. Emily pressed closer. And what do you think of that idea? We need to get a divorce first. Do you love me, Mark? The only people I love more are my children and Louise. I don't love her anymore, Emily. So apart from your children, you love me the most? Yes, I loved Louise more once. We dated, married, had kids, and built a life together. But now, I think about you a lot. I'm grateful to Louise for giving me 2 wonderful children. That night, Emily stayed with me. Nothing physical happened. We weren't ready. My daughter was thrilled to have Emily with us at breakfast. My son wasn't bothered and told me about his mother's apology and promised to be more present. She had been showing up more often. He also mentioned his mother's standing dinner invitation, which his sister never accepted. Walking Emily to her car, she said, I'd like to stay the night again. It's fine because we don't have lovemaking. That's one of the rules, right? Yes, and I'm sticking to it too. Louise came home on Wednesday, hoping for a family dinner, but I had a date with Cindy. She begged me to stay. As I walked to the door, I gave her a neutral look. Please stay, Mark. It's not my fault, Louise. But we can. I have plans. Our children knew I wouldn't be here tonight.